Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on CW11.
All right, welcome to CW11 Home Track Heroes. We're here back at Evergreen Speedway for another Driftcon event. This is our second Driftcon event of the year, and right now we have our Pro-Am licensing series going on. So these are all of our drivers. Let me introduce them to you one by one. Over here, he's already licensed, but he wants to be the yardstick. He wants to show everyone how it's done. We got the driver of the V8 E36, Mr. Chase Schmidt. Throwing caution to the wind on every run. I love seeing it. He's got a fancy haircut, and I love it so much. Driving the, let's go through the Conseil, the 2RPD, the Tire Streets E36. We got Mr. Cole Townsend. I gotta get a little more from you guys out here. Let's get it for Patrick Heald over here. Hold on, that's not his name, I lied, okay. So driving the KAT powered S13 over here. He had a license once. He also wants to be a yardstick. We got yardsticks abound here. Call us Home Depot. Driving the S13, Mr. Patrick Heald. A little better, but I'm judgmental. Man, this guy's gone through some trials and tribulations. He was on the dyno late last night. We're gonna ham out the drama right here, right now. But driver of the sill front, the 180, they call it a sill 80. We got Mr. Vaughn Banister. Man, why you gotta look at me like that? Why you gotta look at me like that with those sunglasses on, man? Every time he comes, I mean, if I had to dub someone Mr. Driftcon, it's this guy right here. Every time he comes out, he performs. He's a showman. Everyone loves him. Driving the over-modify S13, we got Mr. Torin Davenport. That's what I'm going with. I go with a fan favorite on this one.
Fan favorite over there.
You went butt to front twice.
Oh, God.
Okay, that's the last time we're going to mention it, because right from here on out, it's Shred Town, right? In the Takeover Northwest V8 S13, we got Mr. Brandon Marcus. Just J2 Racing? Yeah. Driver of the J2 Racing S13. Let's try and pronounce his name right this time. Just one time only, Mr. Jace Havoc. Was that close? Was that close? Close enough? Because from here on out, it's hey, bitch.
Perfect.
All right, no, you over there, 6 feet away. I don't trust you. All right, driver of the Turbo LS powered FDRX7. You know him, you love him, double K, Mr. Corey Keiser. What's his name?
Ella.
What? What's her?
Ella.
Ella. It's a girl. Her name is Ella, and I love her more than Corey Keiser. So just let that be known. Yeah, you got the prettiest umbrella girl on the planet right now. All right, driver of the new Edge Ford Mustang, better than the old Edge Ford Mustang. He's got this thing back out. This is his dream. This is what his goal is, trying to get that Formula Drift license. We got Mr. Carlton McDonald. In the Snohomish Hay and Cattle Skidiots Garage, the other member of the Skidiots Garage, because I don't like mentioning for Carlton for some reason, because I'm a bad announcer. We got the old Edge Ford Mustang of Mr. Tori Jelinik. Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot right there. You won that last one, right? You won that big bounty, right?
I think so.
You got any bets with these guys here? You trying to bring home some money today?
Trying.
He's another yardstick driver. He's another one of our licensed drivers out here. But I mean, we love him. We love seeing him. He's in the Drive Autosports Pulse for Health S13. My tongue is tied, but it's Mr. Tyler Mayer. Y'all remember this guy, right? Y'all were at the last Driftcon, right? How many people thought he'd be back out here? I never had any doubt in you. He's driving back in his Sill 80. Is it a Sill 80? Sill 80? Yeah, Sill 80. We got Mr. Spencer Bolt. I'm so proud of you for getting that thing back together. I'm so pumped, and you've been killing it in practice, dude. See it shred. Oh, last but not least, okay. How many trannies? Transmissions. transmissions, okay? Let's not get woke here.
5 minutes ago.
5 minutes ago, he changed his tranny, but he's back on track. I mean, he's no stranger to fixing his car, getting it back on track, but he always kills it out there. Always gives it 100%. In the Drift Dynamics BMW 1 Series, we got Mr. Jacob Corbett. I don't know chassis codes on BMWs. There's too many of them.
California, give it that.
Driftcon. These are your drivers for the licensing series. Now, I'm going to need you to make a little bit of noise on the count of 3, all right? Driftcon, 1, 2, 3. Drivers, let's do some burnouts.
Well, welcome up to the booth while we wait for those drivers to get in their cars and into the burnout box for the first battle. My name is Keiser, and I'll be joined by Ben White here momentarily as he comes flying into the set from down on track. Wow, you up here pretty quick, Ben.
There's a lot of stairs, but I'm a stair master here, Kyler. No big deal. Danger Ben White made it to the booth.
Exactly, yeah. So this is a little bit different than our normal Pro-Am series. It's one event, and we're giving out a license for this one event, so a lot on the line right here.
Yeah, one day is a lion, one day for glory. Here it is, laying it all on the line, like you said, here at Driftcon. And these guys are trying to take the next step in their racing careers. So how do you do that in drifting? You get a Formula Drift license. We're fortunate to be one of the licensing series for Formula Drift, and we decided to make the change to a one-round shootout this year. So all these guys who specifically want to take that next step, they are here ready to lay it all down on the line and leave it all on track.
Exactly, yeah. And so we got our first battle up in the burnout box on the backstretch to 5/8. We're on the Big Bank tracks. If you guys watch the last show, we're on a really unique, mainly infield course. This is the complete opposite of the last show. It's on the 5/8 bank of 1 and 2, the FD course, and we are excited to unleash the first battle up here on. We got Tyler Mayer in the white and blue car that's going to lead first, and he's going to be chased by Carlton McDonald.
Yeah, Carlton McDonald in the new Edge Mustang, that one half of the Skidiots Drift team out there. You know, he just recently put this car together, got it out here, got a few practice days in, and you know what? He wants to take that next step. This is why he built the car, and he's going to throw down right here. Yeah,
and he's looking really good. That's a pretty big gap between him and Tyler Mayer, but he's maintaining a really good angle and really good style up there on the bank and pretty good proximity to the wall. But he's pretty far off from Tyler Mayer, so he's able to close that gap in the infield portion. And we talk about Tyler a lot, obviously the winner of the Big Bounty tournament up here in the first round, as he's going to put down a really solid lead run right there. So great job there by Tyler Mayer. And like Carlton McDonald, like you just mentioned, he's put down a solid run as well. It's a safe chase run, you could say.
Yeah, you know, it's a little bit earlier on in the day, and it's still a new build for him. So he's still working out the bugs, but man, he's got so much talent behind the wheel of the car. They call him Carlton the Kid McDonald, and he's young, he's baby face, but once he gets behind the wheel of that car, he's just throwing it down. So they're going to reverse the order, change positions. Now Carlton is going to try and throw down what is as close to a 100-point qualifying run as possible.
And here they go down the back straightaway into the first initiation zone, going into the 5/8 backwards right there. And Tyler Mayer a little bit struggle right there. It looks like he couldn't quite get the car initiated to go into drift, and he kind of sucked up to Carlton pretty good there. But yeah, not a huge amount of angle, and he almost might have missed that first initiation point.
Yeah, it seemed like a very late, lazy initiation from Tyler Mayer, and lots of weeble wobbles and almost straight on the bank. And you see he's applying the pressure now, but it might be a little bit too little too late for Tyler Mayer here.
Mm-hmm. So we'll head on down to Chloe Kirk for the decision and the interview with the winner.
Hey Carlton, how's it feel to get a first run under your belt today?
It feels great. This is a first competition in the car, first battle ever, and to come out and win it is really awesome.
That's awesome. Are you excited for your run against Spencer? Are you nervous? How you feeling?
Oh, let's keep it going. The nerves are gone now. I got it out of the way, so I'm ready to rip.
Awesome. Do you want to shout out any sponsors today?
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to shout out J2 Racing. They helped me with this whole build. And I'd also like to shout out AccuTap Gaming Systems. But also, most importantly, the people that come out here and help me at every single track day and every single event. They're the ones that mean the most to me.
So first run out of the way, and that's not the end of Tyler Mayer's day, as it is a double elimination bracket, so it's different from what we saw before, where if you lose, you're out. This time they got a second chance to come back things.
Yeah, Tyler gets a chance at redemption. he gets an opportunity to still make his way through the bracket and still, win the day, earn his license, which, I mean, technically he's already a licensed driver, but this is our highest form of drift competition here in the Pacific Northwest. So he's out here. He wants to make sure that, you know, his driving abilities are up to snuff and, you know, he's not getting left behind.
Exactly, yeah. So right here we got Brandon Marcus in the lead position being chased by Tori Jelinik, and Brandon actually wrecked on his second practice run of the day. So they've been working hard to get that car back together, and so far he's looking pretty smooth up there on the 5/8 bank, and it was coming at the very end at turn 1 of the 5/8 where he wrecked, and he's hanging it out really wide and has a pretty good lead run going so far. A little sloppy in some spots, but overall it put down a run right there.
Yeah, he's got that big plume of smoke following him everywhere on track. You saw Tori on the bank. He was taking that low line, probably thrown off. Brandon Marcus throws a gnarly entry into the 5/8 bank. It's borderline reckless, and I tried to tell him it looks reckless, and he goes, nah, it feels cool. So I'm gonna let him keep doing it. Like, do your thing, dude. But yeah, they're gonna switch it up now, and let's see if we can get a definitive winner here and see who stays in the winners bracket and who moves into the losers bracket.
Yeah, when I was walking through the pits not long before opening ceremonies, they had just finished getting the car back together, and he looks at me, he's like, "You didn't think we were gonna get back together, huh?" I'm like, "Nah, I always had a little bit of faith," and he's like, "Well, we didn't." So it's cool seeing that spirit, that constant big smile that he always has. Is he's now chasing Tori Jelinik, because Tori's way up against that 5/8 bank, and that's a big overcorrection right there from Brandon Marcus.
Yeah, that is not what we want to see in the chase position. Obviously, Tori throwing down one hell of a lead run, dragging his bumper on the bank wall, throwing big angle everywhere, and letting all those Windsor ponies just sing under the hood of that Mustang.
Yeah, that was pretty much as close to a perfect run as we've seen so far today on the 5/8 bank, as he was right up against filling that entire outer zone through 1 and 2 of the big bank, and then unfortunate Brandon Marcus right there.
I won?
Yeah, you won.
Nice. Hey, it felt really good. You know, put a lot of time into the car, and it feels really good to get that first run out of the way.
Absolutely. Do you want to shout out any sponsors today?
Absolutely. #1 sponsor, Snohomish Hay and Cattle, all over the car. Check them out, please. Awesome. J2 Racing Parts also.
Yeah, when we talk about those bank runs, watch for the banners to ripple. That's when you know these guys are absolutely as high as they can get on the bank. If you see those banners waving, that's good. That's what we want to see.
Exactly, yeah. So Tori there moving on, and even with the helmet, you can see that huge smile that he has. Just a bigger-than-life guy right there. Tori Jelinik moving on in the winner's bracket, and we'll see Brandon Marcus in the loser's bracket. Is right here. We have Torin Davenport chasing Chase Schmidt.
Yeah, Chase Schmidt is actually a Formula Drift licensed driver as well. He is our most recent driver here today that competed in Pro Spec. So he's out here, and he's basically a yardstick for some of these guys. He's in his Pro Spec car, and these guys want to see how they shape up against the next step.
Exactly, yeah, and Chase doing a great job showing why he is where he's at in his career, and way up against on that wall in the 5 banks. Almost hangs 2 tires off right there, though, so we'll have to see what the judges say towards that. As Torin, he was really low on the bank, not a whole lot of proximity either, but now he closed it up a lot here in the infield portion and all the way through the final outer zone. And if it wasn't for that little bit of a mistake on entry for Torin, I think that would have been a really good chase run, but we'll have to see what the judges say about that possibly 2 tires off for Chase Schmidt.
Yeah, we could talk about power levels, like Chase Schmidt has a Pro Spec level car here. That is absolutely what his E36 BMW is. He hasn't touched it since he took it off the track there. Now Torin has a V8 swap, but he's going to be underpowered here, especially against a pro level car. So that's where you saw him trying to make some sacrifices to make up some proximity. But I mean, Torin's Mr. Driftcon. I dubbed him Mr. Driftcon. He always brings the excitement. He always puts on a show. So I mean, I love seeing him on track and seeing what he does.
Yeah, not a huge amount of angle from him there. He's going to go 4 tires off.
Might even be 5 tires off.
Yeah, he was way off. Very, very much missed that track right there. And it is kind of, we heard some of the drivers talk about that end of the bank just gets so slick and so slippery as it flattens out on the front straightaway and almost turns into ice without any rain. So that could have been no having a Torin right there. But we'll head on down to Chloe for the decision and the interview with the winner.
What's up, Chase? How you feeling after that first run out there?
There we go.
How you feeling after that first run out there?
Good.
we both made the exact same mistake, which was kind of funny, but I like driving with Tor, and I had a really good time.
That's awesome. Do you want to shout out any sponsors today?
Just J&B Fab, and yeah, that's it.
Awesome run out there. Thank you.
All right, moving on to the next battle on the initial part of the bracket. We got Jace Habich up here against Cole Townsend.
Yeah, I'm just going to call him Jace.
Jace.
I'm just going to avoid the whole surname issue there. I can't say it properly, so I'm just going to avoid it. So Jace out here, I mean, V8 power under the hood of his S chassis, and then Cole Townsend, he's got an E36 BMW, and I'm pretty sure it's just turbo, like BMW power under the hood of that sucker. And I mean, both these guys throw down. Both these guys are exciting to watch. I mean, Jace is pretty much set it and forget it on the throttle. He just puts that skinny pedal on the floor and just steers it like it's a go-kart or something. It's hilarious to watch, fun to watch. So should be a good battle here.
So Jace is leading over Cole here for the first run, and it's kind of the common theme we've seen so far with a pretty big gap between the first and second cars. So we'll see if throughout the day the guys a little more comfortable up there on the bank, a little more comfortable chasing. We'll see that proximity close quite a bit as in the infield right here, Cole really closing up on Jace as Jace was all the way up against the wall like you mentioned. We saw the banners rippling up on the 5/8 bank, so great run there from Jace. That was a perfect lead run that we like to see.
Yeah, banners rippling, quarter panels rippling, you know, all the above. You know, he got into a little bit of a tussle, stayed in it, which is absolutely what you're supposed to do, and didn't incomplete the run, put down a lead run, so now they're going to switch positions. I think a little bit of an advantage in Cole's favor right here, but I mean, I'm not a judge. Glad I'm not a judge, and we'll just watch what goes on and just say some words about it.
Yeah, that's a thankless job for sure, as now Cole Townsend is going to be the lead car right here, and we'll see what he has to do. As you can already see that back bumper is already kind of messed up. Maybe the left rear taillight's already knocked out, and well, it's not knocked out, and now it for sure is, as he's way up against the wall, rubbing that quarter panel like we like to see. And Jace right there, he's putting out a heck of a follow run.
Oh, we got a little pinched off coming off the bank. He tried to take that inside line, tried to cut the line a little bit and gain some proximity, but got pinched off. And now Cole's taking a little bit of an interesting line, but it doesn't look like it's going to be like 4 or 5 tires off. So I think he's going to put down like a complete run, but we'll let the judges decide, and we'll go talk to the winner right now.
Yeah, we'll head on down trackside and see what the decision is.
One more time.
And it's going to be a one more time, so just enough mistakes by both drivers on their runs to call for a one more time, and it's the first one more time of the day. So it's what really happens is neither driver put down an incomplete run or anything like that. It's just they both put down an okay run, okay follow run, okay lead run, not a decisive winner between each one, and judges want to see them go again.
Yeah, it was just too close to call. Too close to call, send him again, let's get a definitive winner out here. And that, I mean, that's the way we want it. I mean, that's as fair as it gets. And especially when you're going for something as big as like Formula Drift license, you want to make the right calls. So not enough information on the track. We etch a sketch it, brand new battle right here.
Exactly, yeah. So we're going to throw out those first 2 battles that we just saw, and it's a completely new slate right here. It's Jace going to be back in the lead position.
Yeah, buddy. You can see him get about like halfway on the bank every time, and then he get into a tussle with it and drop down about a lane. It's like, man, I just wish he would just maintain that height on the bank all the way through. But I mean, look at Cole. Look at Cole's chase run. He was doing great. I mean, was not phased by anything going on in front of him, and just aggressive.
Yeah, he was really on the tire tracks to chase the entire time, and we'll get a drone replay of this run right here, and we'll have to see, because I think Jace might have had 2 tires off when they hit that infield section, that first outer zone in the infield part. So I'm going to take a look at that and see if that could call for an incomplete run right there. But I just love this right here. Both drivers on the loud pedal up against the wall, scraping the wall a little bit. You see the banners ripple. Just an awesome shot right here. FPV drone work. These guys, Mike Rose FPV and Moonman FPV, doing a great job. And that was almost 3 tires off.
3 tires off. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll watch these guys like finish the rest of the run, but that is a big mistake, and that's going to weigh against Jace when the judges make their decision.
Welcome back to Home Track Heroes here on CW11. My name's Skylar Hope. I got Danger Ben White up here in the booth, and when did that get there?
Wait, you mean Bardall?
Yeah.
Bardol's been here for 82 years.
Really?
Yeah, Bardol Manufacturing, located in Seattle, is a world leader in automotive lubricants. With oils, additives, and lubricants for your car, truck, boat, or motorized toy, pick the brand racers around the world rely on. Bardol. Celebrating over 82 years in business and operating in 90 countries make Bardol your brand.
Well, I'm glad that Bardol's a sponsor of Evergreen Speedway, especially they're such a huge part here in Evergreen Drift. Is we have the second half of this battle with Cole, Townsend, and Jace, as Cole's up against the wall again.
Yeah.
There's no left rear taillight left in that thing. There can't be.
Look at them banners go. They just waving like it's a used car lot and stuff. But no, it's Cole Townsend putting the sauce on the bank.
Yeah, and he almost hung 2 tires off right there, almost carried too much speed, and all he really needs to do here is just put down a solid lead run, a scoreable lead run, and he should have the win. As we saw Jace before went to break. Something big happened there. Cole, and he couldn't even finish the run.
Cole! You just had to do a safe run. Why aren't you listening to Keiser right now?
10 feet. He needed 10 more feet, and they're going to skip out on the interview, so we'll let you know who won right here as we'll take another look at this as Cole's up against the wall, slamming the wall. You see paint chips flying. Definitely no rear tail light left on that thing, on that BMW right there. So he had a really solid run all the way up through here. And just continues to fill those zones.
And he's looking great.
Yeah.
He's looking great. And, you know, it's a scoreable lead run, chaseable lead run. And then he gets to about here, too much sauce.
I could almost like the car just died on him for a second.
Poured on too much angle, kind of parked it, and Jace had nowhere to go but ran into him. So, unfortunately for Cole, that's going to put him in the loser's bracket.
So we'll see him later on, actually against the loser of this battle. So Jace moves on, and now we're on to the next part of the bracket. And if you watched Home Track Heroes last time for Driftcon, you saw Spencer Bolt go out in very big fashion, you could say. Safe way to put it.
Yes, went down in flames, a blaze of glory, like whatever synonyms you want to use for fire. Yeah, no, his stuff caught fire. This is the same car. He brought it back out. Now, he had a little hiccup on this run. So when he went to go leave the line, he stalled his car.
Yeah.
And so that weighs against the lead driver. So now Carlton, when he left the line, he's allowed to leave a little bit early from the line because he's the chase driver. We want to avoid having like a drag race start to the bank, to the initiation point. Well, Spencer's got to leave within like a certain amount of time of that light going green, and he did not. So that's going to weigh against him in the judge's eyes, and he's going to be at fault for that goofiness that you saw off the start. So let's check out the drone, see if we can get a better look at what went on there.
Yeah, see right there, you can see that he stalled it, killed the car. He got it fired back up pretty quickly, but again, when it's happened so fast, especially on the 5/8, it's that little bit of speed difference there now because Carlton had to slow down so much. It just caused this huge gap here on the bank, and you really see Carlton trying to make up that time by going really low on the 5/8 bank, but it's just a really wonky start led to a really wonky run.
Yeah, there's nothing like Carlton can do in that situation. So, fortunately, the rules make it as such so that Carlton does not get penalized for what happened there. So now when they reverse the order, Carlton's going to have a big advantage going in the second half of this battle. And hopefully he's mentally strong enough to just let whatever go on that first run and make it happen on the second run. He's going to set the pace.
Yep, so now we'll see Carlton McDonald in his new Edge Ford Mustang up on the outside lead run right here. And to be chased down by Spencer Bowl. And Spencer, he obviously is really hungry. Spent a lot of time rebuilding this car, getting it back together from the last event. And he was heartbroken not to make it in that final 16 bracket. And he was one spot out of it. So he's hunting, trying to make a comeback here. And that's a pretty big gap right there on the 5/8 bank between him and Carlton. So Carlton doing a great job out front, putting down a solid lead run. Not quite as high up on the bank as we would like to see, but still solid angle and very consistent all the way through.
Yeah, when you're sitting on a deficit and you go into the chase position, you got to be stuck to that lead driver's door the whole run. And so now they're finishing within a car length here, but you gotta dig a little deeper than that on the chase run, and sometimes it's just not your day, man.
Yeah, and it's just thrown off from his first run too. Maybe mentally he was thinking about it too much and couldn't quite flush it out. And so here, Carlton just got a great jump here on the start, kept that sizable gap the entire way, but not quite. He's in the middle groove right here, not quite as high up as we like to see.
Yeah. Like to see that lead tire on the upper dash mark. That's basically where you want to set the car when you're on the bank. And so you saw he was a little bit down on that. Tried to fill those outer zones, got pretty close to that first inner, and then as he finishes right here on the wall, you know, he had to choke up a little bit. He had a little bit too much angle, brought some out of it, finished strong.
2 in a row for you. How you feeling?
Feeling great. It's awesome to come out to a first event and do this well. So I'm pretty excited, and we're just going to keep it going.
Any concerns about the rain today?
Nope. I've got lots of practice in the rain. All my track days have had rain in them, so I should be good to go.
Awesome. It's fun watching you out there. Good job.
Well, right there, we heard the R word that we don't like to hear when we're racing.
Why'd she say it?
I don't know. We'll train her for next time.
I'm blaming her. She's new. She doesn't know.
The wet stuff is starting to fall. It's not quite enough to affect the track completely lose the track, but it is definitely something we'll have to keep an eye on. It's been a weird day because I think you got sunburnt this morning.
Yeah.
And it was like 75 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, and now we got some of the wet stuff making its way into the track.
Yeah, I went out there and tried to take some pretty pictures, and then I got sunburnt. So then I ran up to the booth, and then by the time I got there, it was basically ready to rain.
So next battle, we got Vaughn Banister leading over Corey Keiser. These two guys both had a bye run in their first round. So they both got kind of lucky, and now they're battling here to try to move on and stay on the winner's bracket. And Vaughn doing a pretty good job. He's holding a good lead run. It wasn't quite all the way up on the wall, but still a pretty good angle. And, oh, he overshoots the outer zone right there.
Big time.
So carrying a little bit too much momentum right there in the power alley.
Yeah, from what I understand, what he said on the interwebs, Vaughn Banister is like shaking down the car on the 5/8 bank here today. He did a hell of a job. He drove extremely well, but he had been on the dyno 3 or 4 times leading up to this event, trying to get the car right. It looks like he did. It looked like the car made a gang of power. And, I mean, you know, you don't want to shake it down on the 5/8, but he did a pretty good job of shaking it down on the 5/8.
Yeah, that's a bold thing to do, is to shake down a car on the 5/8 for drifting, because that's not something I don't think a lot of drivers would want to do or try to do.
Well, fortune favors the bold, Keiser.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Vaughn, he overshot the power alley right there. It's maybe a little too much power as he carried it into the power alley, overshot the outer zone. We'll have to see how the judges go about that. I'm not quite sure where the course exactly ends or is defined right there. I mean, with FD, he would have went flying into that wall that we normally have set up. So,
right.
So that wouldn't have been pretty. So he has a little bit of a leeway there. But so we'll have to see how the judges look at that, as now Corey Keiser is going to lead.
Yeah, if you kind of like use your imagination, that's a crossover for like our figure 8 layouts, and there's some painted lines there, and you can kind of imagine where the turn goes around and where they'd have painted lines. That's basically where like off track would be. So he was pretty much all the way off track, but reverse the order, Corey Keiser out front, laying down a pretty good lead run on the bank, filling that second outer zone and that third one, and let's see how he does here. See, he watches even like a little bit wide. As the day went on and the sun set, it's almost like when the track got a little bit colder, everyone started overshooting right there on that third outer zone. So it's something to watch, something to keep an eye on here as we progress through the day.
Yeah, and Corey right there, he put on a really solid lead run. He was a little bit higher up on the big bank than Vaughn was, as we'll see right here with the drone replay. Again, thanks, huge shout out to our drone guys, Mike Rose FPV and Moonman FPV. They do a phenomenal job every single time for the drift events.
Oh yeah, Mike Rose loves getting pitted out here.
So here we see a great shot of Corey Keiser. He's filling these zones 2 and 3 really well, but like you said, just hits that next part and flies way wide.
You could see that yellow line right there where you know it denotes off track, and yeah, he might have been like 1 or 2 tires off, not 4 or 5 like Vaughn was.
What's up, Corey? How does it feel to get that run under your belt?
Feels fantastic. The first battle is always the hardest one, and I feel like the last 2 runs have been pretty good. Car feels solid, nothing's wrong with it, so we just got to finish it up.
That's awesome. Do you want to shout out any sponsors?
Yeah, Tire Streets. Jesus Christ, put me on the spot. RTS, he did my transmission. Wow. I was not ready for this, obviously. KA Racing, they do all my fab work. Super, super good quality work for any race car stuff that you could ever do. Goddamn. It's hard to freaking see without the stickers on the side of the car.
That's okay, we can get you next time. Yeah, awesome. Good job, Corey. Thank you.
All right, so Corey Keiser moving on. So now we're going to head on to the next battle right here. We got Chase Schmidt versus
Mr. Tori Jelinik. going up there in his old Edge Ford Mustang. That's a funny joke that I like to make. He's the other half of the Skidiots Garage team. And, man, like both these guys, I mean, Tori just earned his license. I think he had it at one point. He's up there. He's always in the running. He's always an absolute competitor. And, you know, he was just chomping at the bit to get a little piece of Chase Schmidt out here.
Yeah, and he's doing a really good job. He's sticking pretty close. It's kind of the closest proximity we've seen so far. Chase really filling that outer zone all the way on the big bank. And Tori, he was a little bit lower, but he's keeping that proximity, which we really like to see. And huge angle right there from Tori, and he's gonna lose drift almost.
I think that's going to be incomplete from him. And then what to Chase? Chase, what are you doing, bud? He incompleted what you just had to finish the course. You were 10 feet away, too.
Is that just a BMW thing, not be able to finish the course right there?
I don't know, man. I mean, they're messing with their blinkers. They don't know what those are, and then they just can't finish the course, man.
And he had probably the best bank run we've seen yet.
Smooth.
Yeah, because we've seen guys get up and tap the wall, but then they will drop way off, 2-3 lanes off. That was the most consistently high run we've seen so far by Chase Schmidt. And Tori right here I think he was trying to gain that proximity a little bit more, and it's kind of what we talked about as the track got a little bit cooler, just slipping around right there. And right there, Chase taps the wall and just, I think he might have fell out of drift before the course ended. Yep. So we'll have to see what the judges think about that.
Yeah, I think that's going to weigh against Chase. I think this is basically like 0-0 going into the second half of this battle. So, I mean, the judges can make a decision. If someone royally screws up here or someone, shines and excels here, they can make a decision based on that. So let's see these drivers on track. I mean, they're both veterans, and they both know what they got to do out here on track, and let's see if they can lay it down right here.
So Tori Jelinik, your new lead car, Chase Schmidt chasing, and we'll see how Tori's able to handle the big bank as he is up there tapping that left tail light like we like to see. And unlike some drivers we've seen in the past, and once he tapped it, he was able to keep that proximity up against the wall. But Chase doing a phenomenal job right there. He's able to keep right in Tori's path, even with that thick smoke that Tori's laying down. So great chase run there by Chase Schmidt, and Tori going to finish the run all the way through. So I really do not want to be a judge right now.
Yeah, to have great chase runs, you have to have great lead runs. And Tori put down a very good one right here. We're going to get another shot at it through the FPV drone action. And you'll see when he goes on the bank, man, just hazing the tires all the way on the run up. Goes on the bank. You can see he sets that lead tire, even higher than the dash line. Attaboy, Tori, going man mode right there. But you see when he comes off the bank, he comes a little bit on the inside here. I'd like to see him on the other side of that yellow line so it doesn't make it so he can get out to that second outer zone. So, that usually would weigh against him, and usually it would choke up the follow driver, but Chase is such a veteran and has so much experience behind the wheel of that car, he's got a handle.
Chase, how are you feeling after that run?
Not bad. I think the rain might have got the best of me on my first run, but I was able to keep it together.
That's awesome. Are you nervous about the rain getting harder or anything? Or
yeah, definitely. As the time goes on, fresh rain too is always real slippery, so it could get interesting.
For sure. Well, thank you. Good run out there today.
Thank you.
Now we're going to move on to Torrin Davenport versus Brandon Marcus. And Brandon, like we mentioned earlier in the show, had a wreck during practice, and now he finds himself in the losers bracket going up against Torrin Davenport. And you see those windshield wipers. They're going very, very heavy and very aggressively now as the weather is not wanting to cooperate here at Pro-Am double elimination bracket here. And we'll have to see what these drivers are able to do with the ever-changing surface. We talked about it a little bit. The bank will take a little bit more time to really get slippery, and then the infield section where it gets really flat, really not a whole lot of grip, they'll be slip and slide around. As we'll see Brandon Marcus leading over Torrin Davenport right here. And so far, back straightaway is looking pretty dry, but we know that West Up's falling, not a ton of smoke from either driver. Torrin almost straight lining, as there's just a huge gap between him and Brandon Marcus as they go down, and Brandon Marcus carrying a ton of speed, and he's going to go 4 tires off right there and spin it out. So that's going to be an automatic 0 for Brandon Marcus, and Torrin Davenport, he's just going to get a feel for the rest of the track. The run is over for both drivers since the lead driver spun out, so tough break here for Brandon Marcus. Just cannot catch a break today as he's going to pull on through and head back to the starting line. Just absolute heartbreak right there. Let's take another look at the drone replay, but just heartbreak right there.
right, so let's check this out on the drone replay right here. Brandon Marcus, that big nasty initiation. Unfortunately, he mistimed it a little bit, dropped him down a little bit low, and that might have been him compensating for the grip levels that are out there and getting nice up close and personal. Trying to go to the media box with that one, but Torin keeping it on track. Now, since the lead driver sets the pace, if they incomplete, the run is over right there. So Torin doesn't have to complete the run. Anything he does here is not going to be judged, but now Torin will be on an advantage, and Brandon Marcus is going to have a big disadvantage going into round 2.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Brandon has any experience or past competitions on the 5/8 bank, but it seems like he's just really struggling with that transition from turn 1 of the 5/8 into that power alley because it's just been biting him all day.
Yeah, Brandon Marcus, he competed in our last Pro-Am series when we had it, and he scored high enough to earn himself a license. Now, he wants to come out here, get a little bit more experience, and do it as such. His car, he's got an absolute monster, but you see these cars are slowing down to a crawl right now. There's no grip out there on track, and they're just trying to do what they could do to just keep in drift and hit that finish line as soon as possible.
Yeah, and you can see how much smoke we had in the first run compared to the second run. It's a lot less this time. As you can see how much more water is falling from the skies. As Brandon did a really good job to be able to stay in drift. It looked like during the middle of the power alley he was going to lose hold of that car, but he's able to follow in Torin all the way through. But I think with that big mistake that we saw in the first run from Brandon Marcus, I didn't see anything that Torin did that would cause it to be a 0, so I think Torin should have this one wrapped up.
No, Torin's got a decently high line on the bank right here. Look at that. He's got the whole car in that upper lane. Not a lot of angle, but doing what he can do to keep that thing in drift. Now, this is where it does get really hard when you're transitioning off the bank where you need a lot of wheel speed to low wheel speed in the infield. Having a hard time there, but, you know, he's keeping his car in drift, keeping it between the lines. He's going to cross the finish line here, and I think I know which way this decision's going.
What's up, Torin? Congrats on the win. How you feeling after that?
It's really slippery out there, and when I was on the bank, it was really sketchy. You gotta stay in, for sure gotta stay in power and just like be careful. It's slippery.
Yeah, we saw you lost your bumper back there. Are you nervous about the rain or like anything?
It's just the wall took it off pretty much, so I'm just trying my best. So.
Awesome. Do you want to shout out any sponsors?
Everyone on the side of my car, Jib, Elite, Over Modify, all of them, and all my family that's in the stand. So thank you.
All right, welcome back to Home Track Heroes and our coverage of Driftcon. I'm Danger Ben White. I'm here with Keiser, and we're here with Drive Autosports.
Exactly, yeah. Drive Autosports located in Everett, by the way. I don't know if you knew that, but yeah, they're located in Everett. Need speed, get faster with dyno tuning at Drive Autosports in Everett. Low car, align it properly. The in-ground alignment system for slam cars at Drive Autosports. Get supercharged at Drive Autosports. Go faster, turn quicker, and brake harder with performance packages from the specialists at Drive Autosports, located in Everett.
Right on, Drive Autosports and Everett. They actually sponsor Tyler Mayer's car out here, so big supporters of drifting out here at Evergreen Speedway. And now we got a battle going on between Jacob, Corbett, and Jace.
Yeah, and it's definitely very slippery out there. As you can see those cars sliding around, you can see the water spinning from the tires as they went down in the back straightaway. And they're doing a really good job keeping those cars under control. I mean, that's about as pretty much as close as we see cars when it gets this wet. As Jace is going to go around.
Yeah, no grip coming into the infield. It's so difficult because you do need so much wheel speed to keep your car sideways on that big 5/8 bank. And then when you come in the infield, there's no camber, it's flat, and I mean, you need to dump speed almost immediately. So it's counterintuitive. You're off throttle. You're trying to slow the car down when, you know, a couple hours ago you were wide open throttle and just having a blast out here. But now it's more of a finesse game for these drivers.
Yeah, it definitely turns into a very difficult situation for these drivers. A little bit of smoke there at the top of the bank, so maybe it's starting to dry out a little bit, but hard to really say with the
it's misting.
all that water on the camera
misting.
lens. But here we see Jacob Corbett doing a great job to finish out the run. At this point, he can see that Jace is no longer right with him. He just needs to go through, finish this run, put down a clean run, and he's going to power all the way through, tap the wall, give it a little kiss, and move on to run number 2 right here.
Yeah, Jacob did a great job all day. I mean, his car control, he has progressed so much since he started coming here a few years ago. And I mean, I love to see it. I mean, he stayed with the same car, same powertrain, everything like that, and just progressed as a driver. And it's been amazing to see. And now we see him in the chase position. Man, he is getting up close and personal. You see him, he's trying to slow the car down a lot. He doesn't know if Jace is going to get into a tussle with that wall, and the wall's always going to win. So he backed off a little bit, tried to stay out of harm's way, but here he goes. He's just going to try and dive in now, gain some proximity, and put a stamp on it in the second run of this battle.
Yeah, a lot of angle there from Jacob as Jace goes way wide in the inner clip, and he's going to fill that next outer zone. Jacob come flying in, ton of speed right there, closing up at the finish line. We'll go to the drone replay to get a better look at this. It's just so hard when the track gets this wet and this slippery to stay really consistent. The drivers so far are doing a pretty good job at it.
Yeah, consistency kind of gets thrown out the window here. It becomes more chaotic just on track and what these drivers are doing. But man, they're doing they're keeping it in drift and trying to keep it in between the lines. I mean, Jacob kind of dipped over the line right there, but you know, we'll pretend we didn't see that, I guess. And just, you know, you gotta commend these guys. It's not easy coming out here in the rain. It's not easy doing that, and I mean, they're expected to throw their cars in at 80, you know, inches from each other. So real warriors out here.
Awesome job out there. How's the rain treating you?
It is crazy. This is Monroe for you. Dry during practice, wet during comp.
Awesome. Do you have any sponsors you want to shout out today?
Yeah, I want to shout out Big Duck Club. I want to shout out Hot Boy Factory. I want to shout out my shop, Drift Dynamics, and all my crew, all my family. Everyone comes together to put all this together. Godspeed Project has been partnering with us, and also Swift Spring. So making good season starts in the middle of this year, kind of, you know, getting it going.
And we're moving back into the losers bracket now. We got Cole Townsend versus Spencer Casey right here, or Spencer Bolt, my bad, as we get set for another battle here in the wet and slippery Pacific Northwest. And one of these drivers going home right here.
Yeah, we'll see Spencer Casey a little bit later, but this one is Spencer Bolt. This was on Fuego here. And coming into this battle, like you said, I mean, this is the losers bracket. You lose, you go home now. So it's do or die for these guys, even more so than just, you know, the whole one-shot licensing day. So you see, man, Spencer Bolt getting up close. Oh,
little too up close right there as he's going to tap the wall, straighten out, and lose drift. So that essentially puts a zero at his run right there as he saw Cole have to make an adjustment from that contact, and he straightened out also. And a tough break there for Spencer. He was looking really solid for the first half of that outer bank.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, and it's just one of those things. There's a spot on that bank where your car wants to move up, you know, a foot or two, and if you don't expect it, it's going to do exactly that, like it did to Spencer Bolt. I mean, it took his car, completely changed the attitude of it, and threw him straight. He's lucky he didn't go butt to front and smack the front of the car. So, you know, he kind of lifts and lives, sees another day, but he's got another half of this battle that he has to go, and he's sitting on a big deficit. So let's see if he can throw something down in the judge's eyes that, you know, warrants at least a one more time.
Yeah, it'll take a lot from that, as that was an unfollowable run, is what they'll call it, by Spencer Bolt. And we'll give him a chance to swap positions and have Cole Townsend lead and see if he's able to put down a completely followable run as well.
Unfollowable, unchaseable, they're synonyms. We can use them interchangeably. But yeah, we're going to reverse the order now. Cole Townsend going to lead the way in that E36 BMW. He's going to set the pace here. So really, we just want to see him make a full pole. Right, just get through the track in drift, keep it between the lines, and you know that should, in theory, be enough to move on.
He's having a really good line right there, up against the wall. Almost got all four tires in the upper lane, like you said, and then starts to drift down here a little bit closer to those bottom lines. As he's gonna flatten out big time right there. He's
Cole,
just gonna
my
pull
guy,
off.
what are you doing, man? So there's a few ways that you can incomplete a run, right? So you could drive straight like we just saw Cole. You could spin out, or you could drive like completely off track. And so we've seen all of those happen today. And unfortunately, I mean, there wasn't enough of a run to really score either of them. I mean, like we've said, the lead driver sets the pace, right? So if the lead driver screws up, that's the end of the run. And so there's nothing else that they can really score. Even if the chase driver continues on, throws down the most gangster like chase run in essence, it doesn't matter. Run is absolutely over. So I think this is the one where the judges did not really have enough data to go off of and couldn't really make like an actual decision.
Yeah, because if you look at it, it's really that first outer zone is all the big bank, and neither drivers made it past that.
No.
So it's what, in our eyes at least, we'd say it one more time because we want to see them go again because they both had incomplete runs on their lead. But I mean, it's, again, we said we're not judges. Glad we're not judges, so we'll see what they had to say for it.
One more time.
And it looks like it's going to be one more time for these drivers. Yeah, like we predicted, just not enough stuff to go off of to score a run on either of them. Both had incompletes very early on their lead run, so one more time it is for these two.
Not enough data, need more input. So etch a sketch it one more time. Those other two runs, they don't matter. What matters is what we're going to see right now. So this is the first half of this battle coming up. Spencer Bolt going to lead the way. Cole Townsend going to do chase. Spencer Bolt doing a pretty good job, mid-high line, flirting with it there. Big angle from here, absolutely flirting with it, but, you know, making it work, making it happen out there.
And Cole's right there in his pocket, too.
Yeah, staying right there with him. He's got that white shadow of a E36 BMW. Man, that's a very good lead run from what we've seen in these like not optimal conditions.
Yeah, with a really good chase run as well by Cole Townsend.
Cow.
So that was really impressive by both drivers right there, especially because we saw incompletes when both of their runs early on. So big redemption run for both drivers right there.
Yeah, that's where you get like a little bit of the mental toughness game, you know. Racing, it's 80% mental, 20% being mental, right? So you go out there and, you know, these drivers, they have a chance to immediately make good on the mistakes that they've done, and Spencer Bolt absolutely did out there, throwing down a great lead run, and, you know, he had a great chase run behind him. So let's see as they reverse order these guys competing for a Formula Drift license right here. Let's see if one of them can make their way through this loser's bracket.
So Cole Townsend now leading in his white BMW, getting a huge gap early on. He's high up on that wall, getting right up against it. Good angle, a little bit of smoke, found a little bit of dry spot up there. So we'll see how he's able to handle this transition into the power alley, which is now very, very slippery, as he's doing a great job so far. He's just got to finish out the run right here. Spencer Bolt, he's closing that proximity, but it might be too little too late, I think.
Yeah, both these drivers set the bar pretty low for what they had to improve on, but they both did amazing jobs coming into this one more time battle. And, you know, both their lead runs, they're basically identical. They both threw down some gangster bank runs, filled all the zones as they were supposed to do. However, you see right here on the second half of this battle, Spencer Bolt, he's out of frame. He's way far back. He's 6, maybe even more car lengths behind. And Cole Townsend was much, much closer on the first run. So I know which way I'm leaning. I know who I think has a little bit of an advantage going into here, but we're not judges.
Exactly, yeah. So we'll head on down with Chloe and hear what the judges had to say and talk to the winning driver.
Awesome job out there, Cole. On that first lap, you guys were side by side, and with the rain and everything, how you feeling?
It's very slippery, very patchy out there. You're coming off the bank and it's like ice. I'm trying my best job to keep it up there on the wall. That time we were up in the very back of the bumper, basically maxed out on angle, so that was pretty awesome.
This is your second rerun of the day. So are you getting enough practice in this rain?
Yeah, I mean, I come from a lot of street driving, so I mean, I'm used to the rain drifting and stuff like that, so a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Good job out there.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, and we're going to move on to our next battle. Again, still in the losers bracket right here. It's going to be Jace being chased by Tyler Mayer.
Yeah, so Tyler Mayer, Mr. Big Booty Tournament himself, he found himself in the losers bracket way earlier than I thought he would. but you know, that's just going to make them hungry. I feel like that's going to make them want to come out here, do better. And these guys on these like bad conditions, Jace is looking very good out front, putting down a what looks like a predictable lead run right now. And Tyler Mayer doing what he does and diving in on those transitions.
Yeah, phenomenal. I mean, almost no gap right there. Almost a little bit of a door bang from Tyler Mayer as he straightens out almost for a second right there on that transition. It could have been a little bit of a slower transition from the wet weather, but Tyler Mayer doing a great job following Jace right there. As like you said, like you mentioned, Tyler, he's in the losers bracket earlier than we thought. And normally in a drift competition, when you get knocked out, you are hungry to get back out there, but you can't because you got to wait till the next competition. These guys, they get to have the losers bracket to try to redeem themselves in the same day. So a little bit unique format for them as we see Tyler making the most of it right here.
Yeah, unique format, unique day. I mean, we're seeing all the elements like come into play, and really it's just testing these drivers and making sure that they're ready to take the next step. And man, these guys are looking pretty good out here. I mean, considering the conditions, Jace throwing down a very good lead run, very predictable lead run, and giving something Tyler to chase.
So if I was a judge, I'd probably lean a little bit more towards Jace right there just because of the little bit of sloppiness I saw from Tyler towards the end of that run, but that's just me.
Okay, that's just you, huh? It's a good thing you're not a judge, huh?
Exactly. Well, I'll say that every single time. I'm glad I'm not a judge, as we'll see Tyler Mayer's lead run here being chased down by Jace, and a little bit of a sloppy initiation there from Tyler.
Man, we saw that earlier today, too, where he had the slow initiation, low angle. You could see him, he's almost just, you know, chopping the angle up and getting a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Like to see it a little bit smoother. And we know that he's capable of throwing it down a little bit smoother. But Jace, no! You had it, buddy. You were right there, buddy.
It looked like things might have been falling his way, and now he's going to spin it out again. As tough break there for Jace. As we saw just those little mistakes from Tyler, and such a solid lead run from Jace. All he really had to do was just follow Tyler close enough, maybe apply a little bit of pressure, and just tough break there for Jace. Is going to essentially be an incomplete for him. And as long as Tyler has completed each run in the judge's eyes, and he should be the winner, but tough break there for Jace. That was heartbreaking to see.
Well, after that first run, you said you were leaning towards Jace, and I thought you were a liar, and then we got halfway through this run, and I was like, man, maybe Jace is going to take it. And then unfortunately for him, I mean, there's just a spot with a loss of grip right over here, and you see he just overcooked it just a little bit, kind of parked it, and you know, Tyler Mayer just has to keep it straight. Now, if the chase driver spins, lead driver still has to finish the run, and that's exactly what Tyler Mayer did.
Awesome job out there. How's the rain feeling?
It's sketchy. That was sloppy. Hopefully it gets better if we keep going on, but that was fun.
Yeah, you guys were door to door in that first run. That was really fun to watch. How are you feeling about your next race?
Better every lap. Just more and more knowledge and more experience that hopefully we'll get better.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Home Track Heroes. I am Kyler Hope. That is Danger Ben White next to me. You good over there?
Yeah, I'm good.
A little bit of cable trouble?
Yeah, but if your kids aren't good, you should talk to Snohomish County Health District. Snohomish County Health for Kids reminds you of the ABCs to healthy kids. A for annual well child care visits and doctor checkups. B, brush and floss daily dental care. C, COVID shots for kids 5 and older and regular flu shots. Check out snowhd.org for more information.
As we move on to our next battle on the still very wet and slippery track, and that's going to be way up against the wall and going to go around, as going to slide through the grass right there, as we got the battle right here between Torin and Vaughn. And Vaughn going for quite the ride through the green grass down there on the inside of turn 1 and 2, and a tough break there for Vaughn because he had really good angle all the way up, tapped the wall, and then just ultimately came all the way around and ended up through the grass.
Yeah, unfortunate. You could see it's pretty funny because he just like stayed in it because he didn't want to get like stuck in the grass. So he stayed in it, just kind of rooted it up and got out of it, which is hilarious. But it doesn't bode well if you're trying to win a drift competition.
No, entertainment, definitely 10 out of 10 right there.
Oh, yeah,
but
man mode.
Score, I think it's going to end up being a 0 for him.
Yeah.
With the hatch even opening up, that's
it
perfect.
Opened before. So I thought he hit the wall, and then it opened. It opened before he ever hit the wall. That's hilarious.
So just the air going up against it as he closed it on the wall caused his hatch to open. and he's going to lose a side skirt down through there. I think the exhaust got dismounted a little bit, but that's a great shot right there by our FPV drone guys. We got Mike Rose FPV and Mooman FPV up on the sticks, and they're doing a great job giving us great angles of that right there.
You mentioned the exhaust coming out, so pro tip for anyone trying to build a comp drift car, that's why everyone chops their exhaust off right under the axles, is so if you get into a tussle with the wall, it doesn't like pinch your exhaust shut. So just pro tip anyone out there building like a high level competition drift car.
So we're going to swap positions here now. We got Vaughn chasing Torin. Torin a little bit of a slower start, but like you said, the chase driver can leave early, so we see Vaughn taking advantage of that. Now we're going to watch this run. It looks like the wet stuff has stopped falling from the sky, so we're going to see if we can get this track dried out a little bit as they continue to slide through turns 1 and 2. You see a little bit of smoke coming from these guys as Vaughn put down a great chase run right here.
Yeah, he's up close and personal. He knows he's on a deficit, and he's doing what he has to do to try and, you know, sway the judges back towards his favor a little bit. Now, got a little bit choked up there. Torin gets a little bit of distance in front of him, but man, he is on a mission, Vaughn is, and he is trying to chase him down and get that proximity and show that, you know, he's a willing combatant. He's a fierce competitor out here.
Yeah, he did a great job showing what a good chase run looks like right there, but ultimately that big mistake that he had on his lead run I think is going to cost him, as Torin put down a full run in his lead position. Good initiation by Torin right there. Straightened out a little bit, but not, he stayed in drift, but definitely didn't keep that big angle that we like to see. But with the wet conditions, I mean, a little bit more leeway for him, but Vaughn
Holy cow.
right there. Maybe a little bumper tap right there even, coming off the banking through into the outer zones 2 and 3. Great angle there from Torin. Scrubbed a little bit of speed, which is kind of where Vaughn got choked up a little bit, but Torin ultimately put down a complete run. So we'll have to see who wins. Actually, they both skipped out on their interviews, so no interview for them right there.
They just dipped on interviews,
yeah, they just dipped out, yeah. So
just big time.
Torin's the winner. He's going to move on, take out Vaughn, and Vaughn is unfortunately going home, as that was in the loser's bracket. But we're going to head back up to the winner's side. So these guys, they have a lot on the line, but I mean, if they lose, they go down to the loser's bracket. This is Corey Keiser and Carlton McDonald. Carlton leading.
Yeah, Carlton in that new Edge Ford Mustang, Corey Keiser in that FDR X7. Now, I mean, you know, the rain changes their life right now. They were driving in the dry, now it's in the rain. You see those wipers going crazy mode.
Yeah, Carlton with a great angle up on top and a little too much angle right there. Yeah. So he had it really, really good, and then just kind of scrubbed that speed. I think he was trying to lower that car speed, the wheel speed, into the power alley, but almost let up too soon, and the back end came around on him. And we're going to watch Corey Keiser finish out this run. I mean, it's already a 0 run from Carlton leading, but Corey's going out there getting a feel for the rest of the track and going to take that into his lead run there. So unfortunate there for Carlton, as he'll do the same, go out, feel out the rest of the track, and just take some notes and try to mentally erase that and be able to put it past him so he can put on some pressure here in the next run.
Yeah, that's 100%. Like, I mean, as soon as he spun out, run was over, right? But, I mean, with these conditions, you don't know exactly what the track's doing, and it's just changing constantly. So, like you said, they're going to take that little bit last half of the run, even though it's not scored. They're going to see how the rest of the course is, and that's like a strategic thing they're totally allowed to do, and they totally should do every time. So, you can see here, and, like, I got a little, like, dumbfounded at the end of the bag. I'm like, that's a lot of angle from Carlton. Oh, it's too many angles from Carlton.
Too many angles, yeah. And we see that outer bank is starting to dry off a little bit. We saw a little bit of tire smoke, a little baby tire smoke from Carlton that time on the run from the chase, from the drone position. But hopefully we can continue to get this track dried out and get them back to their normal competitive selves. This is just, it's really hard. It's really technical for the drivers, really challenging for them. But we like seeing those big smoke clouds come from them as we get set for the next run. Corey Keys are going to lead over Carlton.
We do, but as a driver, you want consistency on the track, and so it's one of those things. This bank with the wheel speed that you need, it's going to dry out quicker than anything. So almost when it starts raining, you almost want to just continue raining so you understand that the whole thing's going to be slick. But now they got to be like on throttle until about right here, and then they just got to like dump throttle, dump a bunch of speed because the track flattens out and it's just going to stay wet in the infield there. So you heard Cole Townsend talk about being like an ice rink, and Carlton McDonald got to experience a little bit of that there.
Yeah, he had his skates on for sure right there and went sliding through the infield at the end of the power alley. So Corey Keiser finishing out that run, putting us solid run down, scoreable run from what I saw at least. So looks like it should be Corey advancing with Carlton having some issues here, but it's not. Their day's not over. Whoever ends up losing this battle, their day will not be over. As they're still in the top part of the bracket.
Still transferred to the losers bracket, right? So
whoever, assuming it's going to be Carlton, whoever ends up going home right here will end up heading down into the losers bracket and hopefully be able to take any of that information with them as they go into those next battles.
Yeah, you gotta take the experiences as they come, right? So all throughout the day, it's all just experience and knowing what's going on and implementing that into your driving and stuff. So Carlton sitting on a bit of a deficit here. Looks like he was able to get his car off track, probably just stalled it a little bit. I think he's got carburetor under the hood, much like Tori Jelinik. So he had to get those like needles and seats unstuck or something, get the fuel back flowing. But see that drone view right here. You basically sit in shotgun with Carlton right now and seeing what's going on as he's chasing Corey Keiser. And they come off the bank, and man, it's just so slick there. Just all slickness, all just skating rink. And exit stage left is Carlton McDonald and Corey Keiser. I mean, he's over 10 years here at Evergreen Drift. So he knows what it's like. He knows what this track is like, and he knows what it's like drifting in the rain.
Yeah, awesome run out there. How are you feeling after that?
Bank feels good. Coming off in the power alley feels pretty good. Right when you get to the end of the power alley, ice the whole way. It's really, really difficult to navigate, but if you can make it through that, then you're good to go. So I feel pretty confident.
Awesome. You sound like you're doing pretty good out there. Are you excited for your next run?
Oh yeah, I'm just having fun at this point.
Just having fun at this point, as he used ice to explain. He said it's put on ice skates earlier, so it's definitely a synonym that we hear a lot when it gets that slippery for these guys out here on this racetrack.
I mean, it's the best way to describe it. I mean, it's the only way to describe it, man. It just gets so slick, and it's hard to navigate. But yeah, I mean, once you get past that first battle, it's just fun. It's just drifting with all your buddies, and all these guys are homies out here. So now we got 2 Green BMWs out here. We got Jacob Corbett leading the way and Chase Schmidt chasing him. And Jacob Corbett doing pretty good on the bank up there, like mid-high line, looking good, looking smooth, that's for sure. And Chase is gonna reel him in right about here, try and gain some of that proximity and finish with them side by side. And Jacob doing a very good job all day, looking very smooth all day. And like his progression, I'm just going to keep hammering on that. His progression here at Evergreen Drift has been absolutely amazing, and he's driving like a man possessed right now.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job right there. Chase, not quite the proximity we like to see from a Chase driver, but he's overall had a complete run right there. With the wet stuff, it's hard to get that proximity and be able to keep your angle and keep the speed going, but overall, great run by both drivers. And this is the other part of the semifinals in the top half of the bracket, in the winner's bracket. So loser of this battle isn't going home. They're going deep into the loser's bracket. So likely we'll see one of these guys possibly come out of the loser's bracket, and we'll see them battling the winner of the winner's bracket. And winner of this battle is going to go on to see Corey Keiser. So it should be very interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, it's no accident that these guys made it this far. And so like you said, if whoever loses goes to the loser's bracket, but they're going to be deep in that bracket. So good chance of them progressing outside of that bracket and finding them way fighting for the top spot in today's competition.
Exactly, yeah. So here we go, second half of this battle. Chase is now leading over Jacob Corbett. And like you mentioned, the 2 green BMWs, Jacob right there applying a ton of pressure to Chase on the big bank. Great angle from both drivers as Chase is all the way up against that banking up against the wall.
Wow, absolutely. Chase hanging it out there for longer than anyone has, wet or dry today, and just going for it. And Jacob Corbett, first half of the bank, pouring on the proximity, but lost a little bit on the second half of the bank and is just playing catch up from here on out. But both these drivers full pull, and man, not a whole lot that you can really shake a stick at right here.
Yeah, Jacob coming off of the bank, you saw him go way low. I think he was expecting Chase to drop down off the wall, which he just never did. And then from then on, Jacob was trying to just get back to his door, because right here, through the first 3/4 of the bank, he was doing a great job at it, and then just falls out of frame. And Chase all the way up against the wall, filling that entire zone, goes into outer zone 2 and outer zone 3, filling those, and Jacob missed outer zone 2 and part of outer zone 3 as well. So like you said, just trying to play catch up, and we'll have to see what the judges have to say about this one, because it could really go either driver's way, as they both put down phenomenal lead and chase runs.
It's a little slick out there. How are you feeling?
What was that?
It's a little slick out there. How are you
It's
feeling?
pretty slick out there. It's scary.
Is it?
Yeah. No, it's a good time though. He's solid to drive behind. I'm having fun.
That's awesome. Are you nervous for your next run about the track being wet, or how you?
One more time,
are
sorry.
It's okay. Are you nervous about the track being wet for your next run?
After that, the butterflies go away, so I'm feeling pretty good now.
Welcome back to Home Track Heroes and our coverage of Driftcon. I'm Danger Ben White. I'm here with Kyler.
Hope. Is that it?
I think that's it.
All right.
I don't know.
So we're moving on. We got Torn versus Cole up here on the losers bracket. Loser going home. This segment is brought to you by Speedway Chevrolet. Visit Speedway Chevrolet and RV Center in Monroe for customized trucks, lifted trucks, work trucks, and Speedway Chevrolet can locate the truck that fits you best. Speedway Chevrolet and RV Center also wants to trade and will buy or co-sign your vehicle or RV and take the hassle out of selling it on your own, as we are watching Cole lead over Torn right now.
Cole doing a pretty good job. He's taking a mid-high line. Like to see him a little bit higher on the bank, but doing a good job of filling the second outer zone and getting big angle into that third outer zone. Now he washed out a little bit wide here, and Torin, washing completely around.
Yeah, F in the chats for Cole right there as he spun around at the end of the power alley, which we heard, I can't remember who we just interviewed not too long ago, but they said once they get to the end of that inner power alley, it just turns to ice, and Cole is definitely finding that out the hard way, you could say.
Yep, getting that first-hand Spinderella syndrome. But yeah, we'll get a replay here. See mid-high line on the bank. Like to see him like a little bit higher. It makes it a little bit difficult for the chase driver, in this case Torin, because they, if they want to gain a little bit of proximity, if they're falling behind, they'll typically like go down about a half a lane and just kind of cut the track a little bit. But if the lead driver's already cutting the track, it kind of gives them nowhere to go. And right here, you even see Torin was just kind of like, well, I don't think this is going to bode well for you, buddy. And sure enough, like, Cole just spun it out.
Yeah, it looked like Torin kind of saw what was happening with Cole just kind of washing way out there at the end of the power alley, and just kind of knew something was going to happen. Either he was going to slide all the way off track and get a zero, or spin out and get a zero, and ultimately Cole ended up looping it around, as he's going to have to apply a lot of pressure here to Torin. He's doing that early here in the run.
Yeah, he throws it right in behind Torin, and trying to make that impression on the judges, and that was looking good. Nice aggressive move from him, but Torin doesn't look like he's shaking at all. Puts it right where he needs to, coming off the bank in outer 2 and 3, and a little bump and grind from Cole. Get a little bit too aggressive there, and unfortunately, I think that's going to be the end of Cole's day. And Mr. Driftcon, Torin Davenport, I suspect he's going to move on here.
Yeah, that would appear that way after a couple of incomplete runs by Cole Townsend. Is just unfortunate. He was applying a lot of pressure, doing a great job, but just put a little too much on there at the end of the power alley. And you think that he would maybe learn from his mistake the first time and just got lost in the sauce trying to put on too much pressure?
He knew he was sitting on a mistake, and so he knew he had to do something significant. And I mean, all or nothing right here, right? I mean, he already feels like he's on a deficit, might as well just go for it. And so absolutely he did. I mean, this is as close as it's going to get in the rain right here, and just a little boop.
Yep.
Little boop on that lead tire, and it just sent him spinning. So unfortunate for Cole. I love seeing him drive, love watching him drive, but I mean, fortunate for Torin Davenport right here.
You seem to be coming out on top a lot today. How are you feeling after that?
I'm feeling pretty good. Yesterday, he came over to my shop and said ready to lose tomorrow, and I feel like it's awesome that I beat him. He gave me a love tap. I gotta check that out, but other than that, let's get it.
Yeah, you're looking good out there. We're seeing you a lot, so good luck on your next runs.
Thank you.
Torrance survives to move on through the losers bracket. As we're moving on to the next battle, also in the losers bracket, loser going home, Tyler Mayer versus Tori Jelinik.
Yeah, Tori Jelinik, the other half of the Skidiots crew in that red Mustang. Man, I love watching these guys drive together. Some of the best drivers here in Evergreen Drift's little series, and every time they put on a show, Tyler Mayer doing a pretty good job on the bank there, trying to massage his car out into zones. And Tori, dang, that is an aggressive move from him. Let's see if he can pull it off here.
Putting a ton of pressure on late in this run. You can see him really struggling to find grip as he's going to send it through that last outer zone right there. So a little bit of a rocky start there for Tori at the beginning of the run, but he definitely closed in and put a ton of pressure on late. And the winner of this battle is actually going to go on to battle the other half of the Skidiots garage of Carlton McDonald. So we could possibly see a Mustang versus Mustang battle, New Edge versus Old Edge, if Tori's able to move on. But he's gonna have to take down one of the best here at Evergreen Speedway, the big bounty champion Tyler Mayer, who put down a really, really solid lead run. Just Tori right here really trying to make up that ground and does a good job of it, but might be too little too late here.
Yeah, I like the way both these guys are driving. Tyler just seems a little bit off today. He's not putting his car into absolutely all the zones like he normally does. And so, I hope he just progresses more and more throughout the day, just so he can shake out whatever cobwebs, whatever rust is in his hands, in his feet, whatever, and get back to the Tyler Mayer that is just an absolute slayer. But now Tori's going to lead out front. Throws it in, decent angle right here on the bank. Still like a mid-high line. Like to see him, almost a full lane higher, but you keep it in between the lines in these slick conditions and you're going to prosper pretty well. Tyler
right there.
Dang, Tyler going for an early transition. Had a little bit of hiccup, had a little check up just a bit, but got himself right behind Tori. And wow, you see how these guys just fighting for grip right there.
Yeah, almost crab walking was Tori right there as he just hit that really, really slippery patch at the North Pole and gonna make a complete run. But I think Tyler just put on the pressure a lot sooner and a little bit cleaner than Tori did. But it's going to come down to the judges' hands. I mean, it could very well be a one more time with these two guys. It was that close.
I mean, they're very, very evenly matched. They both made, kind of random mistakes and stuff. I mean, neither of them had a super great bank run. It was kind of conservative, kind of hoping the other guy would trip. I don't think either of them really tripped. So, a very evenly matched battle. Love watching these guys drive. I could watch these guys drive all day. I don't care. Just send them one more time for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I really didn't notice it, but Tyler, he almost didn't have a ton of angle on the bank, just kind of flatlined it almost a couple times and then didn't fill either of the zones 2 or 3. So I thought Tyler might be leaning more towards him, but we'll have to see what the judges have to say. And it's going to be one more time with these two. So maybe just enough mistakes by each driver not to really give one or the other the edge from a judge's standpoint.
Yeah, too close to call, no definitive winners. So, let's try again.
Yeah.
Let's try again. Let's see who can do better now.
Yeah, and this late in the battle or in the bracket too, you think the judges are just really wanting to get it right, and neither driver gave them enough reason for them to lean one way or the other. So. We're going to have to see him again, wipe the slates clean, and let's go. And again, we kind of see that sloppy initiation by Tyler Mayer in the lead run, and it kind of threw Tori off at the beginning of it.
Yeah, a little bit. Lots of weeble and, lots of chops to angle. It's not like a smooth, gradual transition to angle. It's a lot of choppiness, a lot of sawing at the wheel. So kind of just weird to see. It's not something that we've ever really seen from Tyler. I don't know if the conditions are just getting the better of him or what, but I mean, put down a decent enough lead run, and Tori was right there the whole time.
Yeah, maybe Tyler didn't spend enough time on the sim this week.
Yeah, he's got to get that thing going. Do you think they got rain mode? They got rain mode on Aceto?
I think Tyler's probably gonna be asking for that if they don't already. He's probably gonna be telling them to.
He's gonna be writing emails to corporate. But yeah, you see Tori just absolutely, matching his line, matching his angle, following basically everywhere. You see, he cut the line a little bit and kind of straight line the power alley, but doing what he can to kind of sacrifice to gain a little bit of proximity, because that weighs heavier in the judge's eyes in the chase position. So doing what he can to stick to Tyler's door, and, Tyler doing an okay job out front. Like, nothing to write home about necessarily, but doing an okay job out front.
Yeah, playing it safe, getting a score will run down, and we'll see if Tori's able to do the same thing right here in his Old Edge Ford Mustang.
That's right, Old Edge. I hope that catches on. I hope that catches on throughout the whole Ford community. Either that or I'm just going to get like a whole bunch of letters from all the like Northwest Ford forum guys on Facebook. A bunch of DMs. That's okay.
So we're really good proximity here from Tyler all
but
the
he's
way on the
straight
bank.
lining
But not a ton of angle. I believe he stayed in drift that whole way through and just really focused on putting a lot of pressure on Tori, trying to make him make a mistake. As we'll see what the judges have to say. Is a little bit sloppy there from Tori towards the end, but we'll have to see what the judges think about that entire run, because Tyler was really, really close to straight lining through the big bank.
Yeah, we'll have to get a good look here on the drone. Hopefully we can see exactly what was going on with Tyler. Tyler in the chase position has not had a lot of angle all day. So we'll see what happens as he gets to the end of the bank here. It was, you know, if it wasn't straight, it was extremely close to it. Wheels went straight there, man. Wheels run straight, and even if he was like, you know, just kind of four-wheel drifting, it didn't look pretty. It was not the prettiest, as Jared Deanda would say. So unfortunately, Matt, I think I'm gonna like lean a little bit towards Tori here, but I mean, you know, I'm just a guy with a microphone. Oh dang, I'm wrong.
The rain doesn't seem to be affecting you out there. You look really consistent. How are you feeling after that run?
It's so patchy. It is very hard to be smooth, and this is very hard.
Yeah. Well, you're looking good out there. Are you nervous for your next run?
Yeah, just because it's going to get more and more dry, and then the wet spots are going to be more uneven, so you're going to be full commitment, and then the grip's gone, and the consequences are a wall, so it's pretty intimidating.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we wish you the best of luck out there on your next run.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
So we'll see Tyler Mayer going up against Carlton McDonald here in a little bit. But first, we got Jacob Corbett versus Torin Davenport to see who stays and see who goes home.
I think consequences are a wall, or that should be up for quote of the year from
like
Tyler
that.
Mayer right there.
That was a good one, yeah. Put that on t-shirt. It'll sell.
Yeah, we'll see what happens now. So we're moving on to the next battle. Like you said, we got Jacob Corbett out front in that green BMW, and Torin Davenport doing chase behind him. Again, mid-high line from these lead drivers. Like to see him a little bit higher, but I mean the conditions just ever changing. You never know what you're going to get as you're throwing it into the big bank here.
Yeah, we're starting to see that smoke line follow the drivers a lot more into the power alley, but then this whole section right here, it's like drivers been saying, it's just like being on ice skates, and then right here it looks like there's quite a bit of grip towards the end of that last and final outer zone as we see Jacob smoking it up and up, and that was a really good run by both drivers. Not the prettiest by each, but they both were able to get through cleanly. So no drone replay on that one, so we're going to get ahead to the second part of this battle now and see what Torin has to say about that. I think Jacob might be a little bit in the advantage for this lead run, but again, we're not judges. We're just guys with microphones.
That's right. And I mean, Torin was doing a great job being aggressive in the chase position. So now he has a chance. He's got the fresh air in front of him. He's got that lead position. Let's see what he can do out there as he's setting the pace.
A little bit of a sloppy initiation, kind of like we've seen with Tyler Mayer, but he's able to get it enough in angle, but like you said, quite a few lanes down from that wall. Jacob applying the pressure and doing a great job at it, and he's going to slide through, miss outer zone 2 is Jacob, and that's really, really tight on that second out or the third outer zone, but Jacob applying the pressure. Wow.
You talk about aggression. Jacob Corbett's got a car full of it. It's a 1 Series BMW. Just throwing it down out there. Great job from him. Like I said, he's been progressing. It's been awesome to watch.
Yeah, like you said, awesome to watch, and that was phenomenal run there from Jacob Corbett, just applying a ton of pressure. A little bit sloppy here on the big bank by both drivers, but when we got that inner portion of the track, it was all Jacob Corbett applying the pressure and staying right to his door.
I mean, it was all Jacob Corbett the whole run. You see him just being aggressive on the bank, doing what he has to do, leaving it all on track, and basically taking it out of the judges' hands. I mean, he said, I want this win. I'm establishing car dominance, and man, doing a great job out there. Wow, he didn't think Torin had enough angle there, so he gave him an extra push, gave him an extra 10 degrees there. Nice job.
Oh man,
You did awesome out there. It seems you're adapting well. How are you feeling after that run?
the track is so unpredictable. I didn't mean to hit him, but I was really trying to do something to make up for the mistakes I made in the lead. So I think the aggressiveness paid off, but it was risky.
Yeah, the aggressiveness definitely did pay off there for Jacob Corbett. He's going to move on and face the winner of the next battle we'll see later on of Mayer and Carlton McDonald. But we're up to the final battle in the winner's bracket right here between Corey Keiser and Chase Schmidt, which is, I mean, really no surprise seeing these two going against each other undefeated so far today.
Yeah, they've been driving great all day. These are our last two undefeated drivers, so we'll see who remains undefeated, who stays as the only driver in the winner's bracket, and who is the last driver sent to the loser's bracket right here.
So Chase doing a great job, having a lot of gap over Corey Keiser. Corey's, I mean, he's laying down a good run, but just a lot of, and over spun right there was Chase Schmidt.
Yeah.
Just hitting that ice patch we've been talking about.
Over rotating, man.
Unfortunate
I mean,
there.
Everywhere else, these cars have so much like wheel speed, and it's like right about there where, you know, the cars dump all wheel speed as they're. All right, so we'll take it to the drone and check it out here. Drone never lies. It's got that bird's eye view, that first-person view right here.
Yeah, Chase doing a great job through the first 3 quarters of this and had a pretty good gap over Corey as Corey was playing catch-up mode the entire time, and it's just unfortunate about that one mistake by Chase. I think he would have had a pretty good lead going into his Chase run.
But you could see the whole track. I mean, there's tire smoke. These cars are finding grip, and then just right before that spot, they just loop it out.
Yeah, the spot just dries out so much right there.
Yeah, it's wild, and I mean the conditions. That's why I said sometimes when it starts raining, these drivers actually prefer it to just continue raining so they know what to expect. And Chase is as experienced as anyone at this track, and he didn't even expect that right there.
Exactly, yeah, and he flattens out early right there. That almost could be counted as another 0 run for Chase. Let's see what the judges have to say as he straightened out at the beginning of the bank, and it could have been Corey slowed up and had to cause Chase to straighten out. So we'll have to see what how the judges view that. But so far, rest of the run looking really good. Corey Keiser putting down a solid lead run, filling all those zones as the track is really starting to dry out. We're seeing a lot more tire smoke. So head to the drone replay and see what the judges think about that.
We'll watch them on the drone catch in about halfway through the runs. They're coming through the power alley. Corey Keiser, I mean, this is the point of no return. This is where Chase had a hiccup, had an issue, and Corey navigating it no problem. Both these guys now navigating it no problem now that they know what to expect, but it's unfortunate for Chase.
Awesome run out there. How are you dealing with the dry patches? How's it going?
It's getting better and better. He was the last guy I was worried about, so it's all good to go from here.
That's awesome. So
the darker it gets, the more flames are going to come out the hood, which will be extra awesome.
Perfect. You're excited for your next run then? Confident?
Oh yeah.
Welcome back to Home Track Heroes coverage of Driftcon. My name's Kyler Hope. We got Danger Ben White up here in the booth, and it's been a very tricky day with the very wet and unwelcomed washing of our track.
Yeah, Mother Nature came through with an unwelcome wash of our track, but if you want a welcome wash of any of your stuff, hit up Sparkle Wash. Sparkle Wash Puget Sound is your source for residential and commercial power washing services for over 55 years. Their technicians can handle it all. No project is too big or too small. Log on to sparklewash.com and schedule a complimentary quote. Sparkle Wash, Puget Sound.
As you can really see how wet that back straightaway run-up is, but we'll start seeing a lot more tire smoke as the tracks are really starting to dry out as the loser of this battle is going home. Winner is going on to face Jacob Corbett as Tyler Mayer is leading over Carlton McDonald, and it looks like the track's really starting to dry out, and Tyler Mayer is looking like he's back to his old-fashioned, putting down a really solid run. A little bit lower on the bank than we like to see, but so far the rest of the run looking really solid for Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler Mayer trying to get a little bit of redemption here against Carlton McDonald and going to take out the second of the Skidiots today. So, I mean, he's out here, got something to prove, and you see the track is drying out, and we're going to get some nice and grippy conditions.
Yeah, it seems like Tyler cannot get away from the Skidiots. His first battle was against Carlton. He had a one battle break when he went against Jace, and then now he battled Torrey, and now he's back against Carlton again. So he's getting a lot of time around these red Mustangs today.
He's just trying to shoot away. He's got old edges, he's got new edges, just got them Mustangs just nonstop on his bracket, and that's one of the unique things that happened with our double elimination bracket this past weekend. I mean, it's wild. You lose once, you're still in it, you can still battle and still try and take out, you might even get a chance of redemption option right here like Tyler Mayer.
Exactly, and he's taking advantage of it. He did a really solid lead run, like we mentioned, but a little bit of sloppiness on the bank, which I think is where Carlton can take advantage of it. We've seen Carlton attack that big bank a couple times, so he's able to really impress the judges up there. I think that's the most room where Carlton can make up some time. But we'll have to see how Tyler does in the chase position. I think Tyler's in a little bit of a catbird seat right here. And I already see the sloppy initiation again from Tyler Mayer, but we'll have to see how the rest of the run pans out.
Yeah, there's no big hucks from these guys, it seems like. And, you know, they're still worried about the conditions of the track. But Carlton McDonald laying down one hell of a lead run right now and opening the door, giving an opportunity for Tyler Mayer to have a great chase run. And that's what we're seeing take place here on track. Fantastic driving from both these guys, and that's as a result of the track drying out and them finding a little bit more grip. Exactly, yeah. And Tyler Mayer, he did a great job there in the chase position. A little sloppy on entry, but other than that, a phenomenal job from Tyler Mayer. Yeah, I'd like to see, like, man, just a little bit more aggressive of initiations or a little bit more finite. You see kind of a little double pump, a little straight driving even right there at the beginning. And that's not what we want to see. This is drifting, right? It's a controlled oversteer. We want to see that for the duration of the track. As soon as that bank wall starts, these guys should be drifting. And it looked like, unfortunately, I don't think Tyler Mayer was actually drifting on track, so that might be an incomplete in the chase position, even though the rest of the run was phenomenal for both these guys.
Good job out there. Awesome job out there. How are you feeling after that?
It's getting a little bit crazy. It was kind of patchy on the bank, so we were both kind of about midline, but once we got through there, it was pretty much close tandem, so it was pretty awesome.
Absolutely. Seems everybody's been handling the dry patches pretty well. How confident are you going into your next one?
I'm confident. Let's keep it going.
Well, let's keep it going and line him right back up to the line, and he's going to be facing Jacob Corbett, who has been putting down some really solid runs, both in the wet and the dry conditions.
Yeah, I think, you know, Carlton running back-to-back like this, I think it only really benefits him. Like, as long as the car is cool, you know, everything is good to go. He's got that muscle memory already, like, in his head. He's got that at the forefront of his brain, and he's going to be able to go out there and remember exactly how the track felt and exactly where he can throw the car harder, ride the line higher, go faster. And Jacob Corbett, he's, you know, a battle removed from that. So I think advantage right here going into this battle is going to be to Carlton, but both these guys have been driving so good all day that it's really anyone's game.
Exactly. Yeah, we're down to our final 4 drivers as well, so this is for a spot on the podium, as the winner of this battle will go on to battle Chase Schmidt, and then the winner of that will have to face Corey Keiser, who's at the top of the winner's bracket. So our final 4 drivers, Jacob Corbett getting a huge lead out front over Carlton McDonald, as Jacob, I think he was running that middle to lower line, so there's not a ton of room for Carlton to make up that space, but overall, Carlton doing a great job rebounding in the intersection. Still not a ton of proximity there by him that we like to see from the chase driver, but Jacob didn't really allow him to have that from the big bank.
Well, you know, another element that I don't think Carlton McDonald has really faced today is that big smoke line. And Jacob Corbett, his car is absolutely pouring it out. We'll get to see it here in the drone footage. But Jacob Corbett, as soon as he initiates, smoke line engaged. So, I mean, Carlton McDonald has found himself in the smoke line directly. So he's a little bit blinded by the smoke, trying to find his way around. Does a good job of actually riding the inside line and keeping it on track as he's coming off the bank. But, I mean, he was fighting to make sure that he knew where he was on track and maybe not necessarily gaining up a bunch of ground in the process.
Yeah, that inner portion of the course especially really saw a lot more smoke from Jacob. So definitely a factor that Carlton's going to have to battle with, but now Carlton's leading, so as long as he's able to put down a solid, smooth run, he could possibly take the lead back over. But I think it was just how far off he was from Jacob in that initial run. I think Jacob might be leading it just a little bit going into this battle.
Yeah, and Jacob's been willing to risk it all day in the chase position. You see him right now, very aggressive on the lead up, threw in a big initiation, kind of dropped back a couple cars, but he's throwing out the hook, trying to reel him in. Carlton McDonald, big mistake from him. Giving a little hate tap on the wall right there and exiting stage left. Unfortunately, I think that's going to be the end of Carlton McDonald's day. And right now, Jacob Corbett is friggin' stoked.
Yeah, tough break there. You saw him, Carlton just tail tap the wall, straighten out, and then just couldn't ever really regain from that. He lost drift and then tried to send it back in and ended up going 4 tires off. So tough break there for Carlton McDonald. I mean, he was throwing down great runs all day, but I think it's going to be the end of the day for the Skidiots.
Yeah, you see him leaving the track there doing a burnout. It's because I was yelling at him from the microphone. I was like, doing a burnout, do a burnout, do a burnout, and he listened. So bless your heart, you little skitty at you, Carlton the Kid McDonald. But unfortunately, I mean, that's his second loss today. He's loading it up on the trailer now. Ooh, yeah, big tap, disrupted the car. He tried to initiate, but it's way too late. You're going way too fast, and that is not the way the course goes.
Yeah, and Jacob getting an extra little practice in right here, really feeling out the rest of the course. As he's gonna have to go on to battle Chase Schmidt
definitely gonna
next.
feel it right about here.
Yeah, and a little tap on the wall there, and head to Chloe for the interview.
Well, I think the run speaks for itself. It's all dry out there. How are you feeling on the dry pavement?
I was not ready for that much grip, so just tried to do what I could to keep it together.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like you handled it well and you're moving on. Are you confident in this next race?
Who am I going against?
No idea yet. Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, so Jacob Corbett was set to go against Chase Schmidt, but Chase unfortunately backed out because some car issues. I don't know exactly what happened there, but we're on to our championship battle now.
So what had happened was his brakes like back fed. So he's got an inline handbrake for like his emergency brake handbrake, and it back fed into his master cylinder, blew out the seals, so he had no brakes, and you don't really want to drive with no brakes.
Yeah, not ideal. So Jacob Corbett leading over Corey Keiser here in the first battle, and Corey going way low there, almost straight lining it for a second. Like we talked about, that huge line of smoke from Jacob Corbett putting on a great run, and if Jacob is able to beat Corey in this battle, that's going to call for a second battle because that'll only be Corey's first loss on the day.
Yep.
So Jacob with a big task ahead of him. He's got to take down Corey twice, and he's starting off really strong. Great lead run there from Jacob.
Yeah, it's one of those things, that the unique situations that we get with the double elimination bracket, right? So now Corey hasn't lost all day. That's one of the unique situations that we get with this double elimination bracket, right? So Corey hasn't lost all day. Jacob has one loss. So Corey needs 2 losses if he's going to, full on lose. So Jacob's got to go out there and prove it, right? He's got to hit his shot, and then he's got to prove it. And right now, he's doing a good job of setting his shot up. He put down a hell of a lead run, doing a great job. And Corey Keiser did not have the strongest chase run on the bank. He's trying to reel him in here, but it might be a little bit too late in the chase position. So we'll see what happens as they reverse the role.
Yeah, I definitely say that Jacob has the advantage going into this battle, and all he has to do is just apply the pressure to Corey, maybe make a mistake, and we're off. We'll see what Jacob has for Corey Keiser. All is on the line right here in the championship battle.
Well, the way you make that lead driver make a mistake is you apply the pressure, and Jacob Corbett's been risking it all day. He's all or nothing. He's all in, baby. And right now, I'd like to see him a little bit more all in, man. You got to push them chips in play. But Corey,
what are you doing, Corey?
Corey going many tires off track right now, trying to do it again. So how many tires do you want off?
I think Corey's just really throwing this one away, you could say, because he went 3 or 4 tires off, and then 3 or 4 tires off again. So basically handing the win over to Jacob Corbett right there. Is going into that off the big bank, Corey had a huge lead over Jacob. As you see Jacob running a higher line, kind of what we like to prefer to see with the lead driver, and Corey Keiser on a little bit lower line, just absolutely pulling away from him.
Yeah, Jacob kind of got that high line. He's like, oh, are we going low line? I thought we were trying high line, buddy. But you saw 3 tires off, now possibly 4 tires off for Corey Keiser in the lead position. He's setting the pace. So, I mean, if he's faulting like that and going all the tires off, who knows what that means for the judges.
And here we see it. Cars got sent back to the line, which means Jacob Corbett was your winner of batter.
Hell yeah.
So now it's coming down. They each have a loss, extending the bracket to that next one.
This is it, baby.
And it all comes down to this. So now they're on equal playing field. Jacob Corbett going to lead over Corey Keiser in a winner-take-all battle now. So now it's a true championship battle between these two.
Oh, my God. This gets me so hyped, dude. This gets me so stoked. Like, Corbett's doing everything he has to do to go there and get that top spot and get that Formula Drift license. Like I said, I was singing his praises all day, absolutely all day. I mean, the way he was adapting his car to the pace that the lead car was in front of him, the only other person I've seen do it at this track at the Pro-Am level was Travis Reeder. And Travis Reeder, where is he now? Formula Drift professional driver. So I can see shades of that in Jacob Corbett's driving. And, I mean, he's 100% earned his spot right here, right now. So this is it. I mean, whoever wins now is the winner of the day.
all on the line. These drivers going to give it all they got. Jacob Corbett going to be leading over Corey Keiser once again on a almost fully dry track. So we're expecting full sends all the way through, and Jacob Corbett's giving us exactly that all the way up. Oh, no, it starts to fall off a little bit later on in the bank. You see a little four-wheel brake, yeah. Whoa. Corey Keiser put on the pressure, though. Not quite the proximity we like to see, but he's still there enough to apply enough pressure to Jacob Corbett.
Yeah, he's reeling him in the last part of this course. The big smoke line from Jacob Corbett. He's trying to shake Corey Keiser, but Corey has slowly reeled him in throughout the duration of this course.
It's a great run there by both drivers. Jacob Corbett, your leader, and he has to wait there with how much smoke he put down, how much smoke is inside the cockpit of that car. As he's going to fly down, we'll get a nice rear view of it.
Oof, that's a cool view.
There we see that thick smoke line as he starts to fall down. Like you said, we will wobbling a little bit of four-wheel brake.
Dang, these drone pilots are just so cool. Feel like I'm right there with them. Feel like I'm in a spaceship. Dang, yeah. So you get a pretty good idea of if you're caught in that smoke line, how much you can see. It's almost nothing.
Yeah, not a whole lot. You can't see a whole lot. So we're going to get these drivers back up to the line, as it's been a phenomenal battle between these two. We saw the first battle going to Jacob Corbett, taking down Corey Keiser for the first time today. First time Corey has lost all day, and I think Corey slid into the box with style. I like seeing that.
Oh man, he's feeling it. You know what? That's not good for Jacob Corbett right there. If Corey's feeling it like that, man, he's in the zone, man. That's one of those like MJ Kobe things where it's just like when they're in that zone, you better step away. Like it's good that Corey's in the lead position right now, because if he was in the follow position, there would be tire marks all over Jacob Corbett's door, I'm sure, on the second run. But Corey's in the lead position. He's going to set the pace, and he's going to go out there and just shred for everyone.
But we've seen Jacob apply a ton of pressure from the chase position, and I think Corey should know that going into it. I think his spotter will be telling him that, feeding that information. But we'll see how much pressure Jacob's going to put on this big bank, because he's not afraid to send, and he'll be right at his quarter panel, I'm sure.
Here we go. Big initiation from Corey. Big initiation from Jacob. Jacob, no!
Oh.
No! Jacob!
We talked about how aggressive he's been all day, and it finally caught up to him. So Corey Keiser just needed to complete the run here. But
yeah, we got to keep him honest.
I think that car might be done from Jacob, even if Corey was to make a mistake. That was some pretty hard hits. When you see the car bounce like that up against the wall, it's harsh, but heartbreaker there for Jacob Corbett. Corey Keiser finishing out the run, essentially clinching the win. As we'll head over, make sure Jacob Corbett's all right, as that was a pretty hard hit, obviously, to the driver's side door up there on the big bank. Tough scenes here from Evergreen Speedway.
Hey, man, he's laying it all on the line. I mean, that's the game we play. That's what we signed up for. He went out there and was aggressive as he could be, and, I mean, you can't fault him for it. What a drive all day from Jacob Corbett. Doing great things in that BMW, doing great things here on this day, on this licensing day. Man, if I could hand out a second license, you bet I'd be giving it to Jacob Corbett.
Yeah, phenomenal drive all day. Just a ton of angle and entry, and you saw that. We talked about a couple of the drivers who were hitting the taillights earlier and straightening out, how they were lucky they didn't hit in the nose tap, which is exactly what Jacob Corbett did right there. So we'll get a couple of the replays of it here, but we'll kind of watch as Corey Keiser essentially just on his victory run to this point, knows that he's got no pressure behind him, doesn't quite know the extent of it behind him, but knows he's got no pressure and finishes out the run. As we got a couple more angles of this, just a tough hit right there when the front end slaps around like that.
Man, it's wild because, if you tap the back end of your car on the big bank, you want to stay in throttle. You might even want to clutch kick and just try and hammer down more, but he came in so fast and so hard, there was no saving that. I mean, but that just goes to show what kind of driver he is. He's all or nothing, and he's going to lay it all on track. And damn, I love him.
Yeah, so we're going to head on down to the podium, the Angel of the Winds podium, and hear from all three of the top Pro-Am drivers from this event.
Yeah, Jacob's out there. Where's Jacob at? Let's talk to Jacob. Jacob, there he is. Get your butt up here, dude. So this is Jacob Corbett. He came in second place today, and I want you guys to give him a big round of applause. So Jacob, I don't have the bracket with me, but I remember you got to battle Chase Schmidt twice, okay? Yeah, you absolutely did. 2 green BMWs. It happened twice. Otherwise, I might be crazy. It's still a good possibility, but you did. So what did you change as you went throughout the day? What do you mean?
Battled him twice.
You battled him twice too?
Battled Chase twice?
You battled Chase twice. Why are you arguing with me? Who are you? Did I battle you? The kid pointed at himself. He's like, I did that. That was me.
I battled Chase once.
No, you battled Chase twice. I promise you. You want me to run up there, get out of breath, and find the bracket? Because I'll do it.
All right.
All right. So you battled Chase twice. Either way, you made your way through the losers bracket. I mean, where was your headspace at, and what did you have to do to get yourself through that bracket and find some success today?
I think I was really concerned with the grip level and the patchiness of the track. It was wet, it was dry. I think we used everything we learned over the last 3 years fighting hard to just kind of keep the grip, push, and just keep the sense of control, but use the aggressiveness in the chase to kind of hopefully push over. The track is really challenging, so it was really stressful, but we just kept turning it up a little bit each time.
Well, it was awesome to watch. Now, when you went into the wall at the end, I mean, you're one of those drivers, and it seems like you've always been all or nothing, but at the same time, I saw shades. I was telling everyone, it seemed like the only other person who's done it at this track at the Pro-Am level is Travis Reeder. The way you were able to adjust your speed in the follow position, it was amazing to watch. And so, I mean, I'm just trying to give you a little bit of praise right now. It's been a long day for me. I got sunburnt like hell first thing in the morning. So who do you got to thank, man? Who kept you on track? Who kept you successful?
Man, my crew, my family, my friends for supporting me. We have a new partnership with Godspeed. They got us all new suspension, get the car working much better this time. My shop is just pumping to keep the car going, and mainly my crew here today. We, Garrett and Caleb, we changed the transmission right before the competition started, and we were done maybe 2 minutes before it was over. We broke it last lap of practice. So working hard, everybody's support is just all it takes.
All right, man. Big round of applause. Second place today, we got Mr. Jacob Corbett. Oh, okay, so we get to go back to third place? Yeah. Okay, do one of those. All right, so good job today. We'll knuckle it out. Who do we got? Who's the little one? Who's the little one here?
Right here.
All right, I'm getting it. Oh, no, it's Chase Schmidt. Chase Schmidt's the real little one. Come on, little one. So Chase Schmidt got third today. Bad news, Bears. You broke going into the third place battle or whatever battle it was. I don't know. So many battles happened today. What happened to the car, man?
I'd had my battle with Corey and initiated, went to pull the handbrake to not run into him. Handbrake went straight to the seat, went to the brake pedal, hit the brake pedal went to the floor. So I had no brakes. All good though.
So that's something that you kind of want in a car, right? You want to be able to stop in the car?
Yeah, on the big bank for sure.
Yeah, no kidding, right? So danger zone, no brakes. Good call not to keep running it.
Yeah.
But
I did try.
Man, so we talked about you being a bit of a yardstick out here. You're the most. Brandon had to correct me, but you're the most recent driver to run Pro Spec who was in competition for this today. So. You're the veteran. You see these guys coming up. How do you feel about them?
For sure. No, they were driving great. I had a really good time today driving behind all these guys, and it's super fun. You know, all these Driftcon events are rad, and I like coming to every single one of them.
Well, we love seeing you here. We love seeing you drive. Did you guys like seeing them drive? Yeah! That's third place today, baby. Chase Schmidt taking that trophy. And I mean, champions do unannounced burnouts, right? That's what champions of the day do? Yeah, I saw the flames. It was sick, dude. Get up here, double Ks. Corey Keiser taking out first place today. Coming to do an unannounced burnouts. Dude. I'm so friggin' proud of you, dude.
Proud? 8 years.
Dude, I'm so 8 years. 8 years it's been since you've had a license, right?
Yep.
And so, I mean, what's different now from then? Do you want to compare and contrast?
You know what it was? Like when I first started doing FD, had no idea what I was doing. I got thrown into Pro-Am, didn't do grassroots, didn't know what I was doing. So I just kind of learned on the fly. Didn't even know what clipping points were or outer zones or any of that crap.
You know.
Yeah, it was horrible. And then, I don't know, just had like 4 years of downtime without a car, and I watched it because once you drift and you just are, you know, you love it and you just keep watching it. So then I learned every aspect and just watched a bunch of YouTube and FD and all that stuff. And honestly, it made me a better driver. No sim stuff, just watching stuff and learning from watching crap. So.
Well, I mean, I guess watching crap works. Yeah. I mean, that's the lesson that you should take home. Watching crap works. So watch YouTube, and then you become like an expert driver, right? So, I mean, who was helping you today, man? Who kept you on track, and who got you to the top spot on this podium and earned you a Formula Drift license?
I had one guy in the pits. This big dude over here. His name's Palmy.
Oh, that guy?
He was my girlfriend did help. She's gonna, if I don't say that, she's gonna get mad. But she did help. She didn't know what she was doing, but she did help. But this guy was like freaking sweating his ass off. We didn't eat the entire day. We just had chicken strips like 45 minutes ago. Like we were falling down. So if he wasn't here, I would have been screwed.
All right, so watch YouTube and only eat chicken strips on race day. That's what we're taking home from today. Just a little protein, right? Here we go. Yep. Big round of applause. Corey Keiser taking home that first place trophy and getting a Formula Drift license.
Welcome back to Home Track Heroes. Kyler Ope, Danger Ben White up here in the booth with you guys. We're into our final segment, a little bit of Team Tandem action. But first, this segment is brought to you by Tire Pros. We're proud to welcome Tire Pros as our new sponsor and official tire dealer of Evergreen Speedway. Tire Pros is your one-stop tire retailer where honesty is the best policy, and they have a hassle-free guarantee. Tire Pros has all the national brands and offers a nationwide warranty on your tires. Go to tirepros.com, as we seem to have gone through a lot of tires in the show today.
Hit and miss. Like in practice, yeah, a lot of tires. Then it rained. We had some drift lube. Not a lot of tires. Then we got to the end of Pro-Am, a lot of tires shredding on track. But Mother Nature blessed us with a little bit more sparkle wash right on track here. And unfortunately, we got a little more drift lube. So not a lot of tire smoke, a little bit of slow motion. But, a lot of the more veteran drivers say that you get a more experience, like a better experience in the wet, because it slows it down and you can understand a little bit more of what the car is doing. Now, you're going into Team Tandem with your buddies. This is a lot different from what we just saw. So as the cars on track were competing, these cars on track are working together. So they want to work together, they want to transition together, they want to be as close together, and that's going to benefit all three of the cars that you're going to see on track at a time.
Exactly, yes. We just saw Team Attack give their first run in the third place battle. Up here we got Shinchoku going, and like you said, they're all working together. They're trying to maintain that close proximity, stay as close together as possible, and put on a great show for the fans. And like I mentioned, this third place battle, they'll each get 2 attempts at their run. And after you guys are done, we'll move on to the championship battle, the battle for first place. But right here, Shinchoku, just not a ton of close proximity between the first and second car. Second and third doing pretty good, but the first two, quite a big gap right there.
Yeah, Daniel Reed, he's got a pretty decent amount of horsepower under the hood of that car, and was just able to run away from Jimmy Holtz and David Pachman. So Pachman?
Sure.
Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Waka waka.
So moving on, here is Team Attack for their second run, and their first run, it wasn't the cleanest run that we've seen all day, but they maintained really close proximity, which the crowd and the judges really like to see, and they're doing it again right here. A ton of proximity. That BMW in the back almost making contact with the Mustang, and that's going to jack up all the rest of the run right there.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things. That third driver's really got to be prepared, because, Aaron Soria out front threw on a little bit too much angle, and then Aram had to, compensate, throw on even more angle. And Matty Hammy, he just did a good job of keeping out of totaling double Aram's car.
Yeah. That would not have been a pretty sight to see in the battle for third place. So we'll see what Shinchoku has to say about that last run. I'll see if they're able to clean it up. Maybe I'm surprised they didn't maybe shuffle around the drivers. You mentioned a lot more horsepower in that lead car. So normally you want to have your slower car out front, because then the next two cars can kind of compensate and not use all that power behind them. But again, it's almost a lead driver really running away. So the trunk lid's going to open up from going over that drain pipe right there. So a little bit extra style points right there we'll give him.
Yeah, Jimmy Utah doesn't care. He's going to hit the waves that is the drain ditch and do whatever he can to try and keep up with Daniel Reed. But like you said, one of the strategies that a lot of these teams do is put the slowest car out front. That way, the second and third driver can compensate with their horsepower. But
we're gonna take a look at probably one of the best team tandem teams there is in the nation. The Goon Squad rolling out right here, as they've been victorious in almost every single competition they seem to enter.
Yeah, and you see a rare error there in the middle by John Daniel, who was our grassroots champion last year. But they dial it back in, they get it back in formation, and man, are these guys good. I mean, they went across the nation to the final bout, and they got a win out there. I mean, they're killer drivers, awesome to watch, fun to watch, and I mean, it doesn't get any better as far as team driving.
So I don't know the format for this. Do they judge both battles combined, or do they just take their best battle out of their 2 runs?
So they kind of did it like a pseudo tandem, if you will. So pretend like you're running, you're comparing run 1 versus run 1 for both these teams, and then you're comparing run 2 versus run 2 for both of these teams.
Okay.
So, I mean, Goon Squad laid it down. They said this is what it should look like, and now this is Ignat's response to that first run. And man, Ignat, they're a lot of fun to watch too. Spencer Casey is upgraded from his 350Z. He's got that Corvette in the middle. And I mean, these guys, they always leave it on track too. They're exciting to watch. You got Josh Duncan up front, and they actually recruited a new third member in Sam Sayan, who had the most unique sounding vehicle that had been on track all day, that's for sure.
So now we got the strobes running from the last car in line here with Goon Squad. So maybe a little bit of strategy changing up with the lights. You know, you never know. A little bit of extra style points right there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if we get to talk to him on the podium, I talked to Junior on the podium about the strobes for the second run. He's like, man, you got to hype up the boys. You got to hype up the boys out here. So John Weagle is setting the pace up there. You got John Daniel in the middle, and then you got Junior Chun bringing it up. You know Junior, he's got them pink wheels on that black car, making it look good out there, letting them strobies flash. And dang, man, these guys,
phenomenal job right there all the way through.
They left me speechless, man. They left me speechless, that's for sure. In the booth, on the podium, just left me speechless. Ignat, man, they did so well too. But it's just, you know, when you're up against a titan that is the Goon Squad, it's hard to defeat them. Hard to take them down.
Yeah, and right here, the 350 at the end of the train, he's just falling off a little bit, not quite giving up that proximity.
That's the old money shot spot. That's the money shot spot right there. Got them all stacked up. But man, you see, there's just it was an inconsistent distance, is what it was. So Ignat had a lesser consistent distance, and Goon Squad just kept it tight.
So Goon Squad is going to come out your winner for the team tandem competition. Ignat obviously coming home second. Team Attack again, the third place on the podium. So good job for those guys.
Yeah, it was killer to watch. It was fun, and I mean, the team tandem stuff is always a crowd pleaser out there, and so you get to see 3 cars working together, and I mean, that was Driftcon. The next time we get a Driftcon, it's going to be September 24th, and that's Driftcon After Dark.
Yep, so buy your tickets early and come out to Evergreen Speedway and enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here. My name's Kyler Ope. That was Danger Ben White.
Keep the pedal to the metal, slay all tires.
Thanks for watching Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on CW11. Join us next week for more great racing from Evergreen Speedway.